right, looks like we are just about good to go. So let's go ahead and kick it off. So, welcome. Today is August 3rd, 2021. My name is Jared. This is Engineering the Markets. Let's take a look at start of August and kind of look and see some of the movement in the market yesterday's session. So, big theme that has been on the list for quite a while is sort of the push and pull that we're seeing in the market with the bonds. Ultimately, bonds are influencing yields. Yields are influencing particular sector strength and weakness. And specifically with some of the larger sectors like technology and financials, there's often an inverse correlation. We're seeing things like yields going down, leading to financial weakness, or at the very least, consolidation. And of course, these lowered yields are helping growth and technology based areas of the market. Uh, Companies that like cheaper money to borrow and I would say more elevated or in some ways expanded financial fundamental metrics, things that can be justified with uh, cheap borrowing rates. So in the short term, this has been sort of an interesting type of analysis where we're saying, okay, bonds are heading down sharply. We want to maybe keep an eye on financials because that's where money is flowing in. And obviously, when bonds bottomed, we did see significant bottoming occurring over the last couple of months. That led to that sort of indecision, some volatility in the market as people were trying to anticipate the next move. And now, of course, we're seeing this rise in bonds leading to sharp declines in interest rates. We have something like the TLT, which once again took another pretty major downside move on yesterday's session with bonds being bought. And when you looked at yesterday's session, you may have thought that not too much really occurred. We had, of course, a weaker session overall, but in the grand scheme of things, nothing really was shaken too heavily. We did see a lot of strength in certain names. Tesla was sort of the main one on watch for the EVs yesterday, and that one does hold a bit of market cap relevance to the SPY. That also sort of bled into some of the Chinese EV names, which, along with Tesla, had moments of strength throughout the marketplace, with Tesla sort of leading the way. But more interesting than that was some of the effects that we saw intraday as the bond market continued to rally. And as I bring this into a shorter time frame, we can see that financials, something that ultimately has been in sort of a range for a long period of time since the large decline from June, um, financials actually had a bit of a bid under it yesterday. It was trying to break this trading range and ultimately looking to potentially clear something like the 50 period on the daily for the first time in quite a while. However, bonds were bought yesterday, leading to that sharp interest rate decline once again. And what was a potentially strong day in financials turned into sort of a false breakout or some sort of reversal structure inside of our sort of technical analysis. Now, when you look at the ETF, it kind of smooths everything out for us from different companies having sort of different placements. There were a couple of companies that did hold up better than others. Goldman Sachs stands out due to the fact that we did close higher than the open. And while we do have this sort of larger topping tail, there was some more bullish activity inside of the stock throughout the intraday session. Another one that stands out just in its placement on the chart is Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley, not even in position of weakness outside of its larger trend, and ultimately testing all-time highs. I believe this is all-time highs, assuming, okay, so we're not at all-time highs, but relative highs. So grand scheme of things, there were some bullish activities going on in financials. However, bonds severely depressed some of that movement to the upside. Other companies are showing this potential for additional downside. If we look at a company like JP Morgan, we see that, trying to grab my Epic pen underneath the browser here. We see some structure here starting to form, this potential distribution type structure, and sort of our risk parameter around the head and shoulder that may be forming. So there's sort of a mixed bag in financials. Certain stocks are actually in elevated positions, even with the strong sort of headwind of yields going down. And this can be an opportunity both in the short term and the long term. If we see interest rates continue to decline, obviously we wouldn't want to be too aggressive in the financial space. If anything, maybe taking a little bit of a short position here. But ultimately that would affect some of the marketplace conditions as well. If bonds, however, start to flatten out and yields start to either stabilize or return back to some sort of normalcy around the 1.2 to 1.3 on the 10-year, then financials can also start to maybe breathe a bit and maybe rise sort of slowly from this larger consolidation period that we've seen. So at this time, financials aren't really the spot to be looking for that momentum, albeit there are a few companies that were trying to buck the trend. If something does change, then maybe those companies will have the energy needed to eventually break out. And those are going to be specifically in Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley. Now, the opposite side of the coin has been technology. And as always with technology, we need to be careful to be looking at the larger group of stocks outside of the market cap leaders of Microsoft and Apple. As always, with those two stocks, we know that they can hold significant weight in this ETF and then comprise sort of a skewed perception of whether this entire ETF or these basket of stocks is truly strong, or are there some signs of weakness. Some notable downside yesterday was seen in particular technology names, the likes of Visa and MasterCard, very correlated and very similar downside percentage moves. Not necessarily breaking the marketplace overall, but we have to sort of question this downside and whether or not there's going to be continuation here. These two do hold relevant market caps, although we would need to see the likes of Apple and Microsoft also participating to the downside if this were to continue. So technology, our strong sector, is seeing a bit of internal weakness. There are some stocks that are not necessarily performing in the same way as our market cap leaders. What else has been going on behind the scenes? Let's look at the VIX, something that we don't typically analyze day in and day out. And ultimately, in the past couple of events in the marketplace, has seen very short-term sort of pop and fade sort of scenarios regarding the chart. A lot of these have led to sort of a pattern that has occurred. Any upside that was seen from a significant swing low has led to a new low in the VIX. Anytime this occurred again, we got more downside, basically trying to find a floor for this index. What has been interesting to see develop, and this obviously has taken some time to do so, is we have gotten a significant move in the VIX as of late. These were some of the sort of liquidation events that occurred in the SPY and in the NASDAQ prior to earnings for some of the large market cap names, along with just that quick test of things like the 50-period moving average. Volatility did expand. We saw those quick movements inside of the VIX index. And then ultimately, the pattern that we'd like to see is that this should either fade back to those significant lows or ultimately make new lows, essentially looking for the floor of this index. What has not happened as of yet is we have not come back to test these lows. So far, the volatility of this marketplace has remained in a bit of an elevated state, albeit we are still seeing a lot of consolidation in the SPY. The expected implied volatility has remained, I would say, relatively higher, not elevated, but relatively elevated compared to previous volatility events. And this can ultimately be seen in some sort of structure if you're looking at short-term time frames. You can see sort of a very muted sort of holding of trends inside of the larger volatility event that did occur. So what this can tell us is that there probably is still some amount of hedging going on in the short term. Remember that the volatility index is looking at 30-day volatility of the SPY. And when we see these levels about 18%, we want to look at something like the SPX. Give me a second, waiting for the platform. We want to look 30 days out, approximately about the 31 day here. And we see that this does reflect the implied volatility of this series, about an 18% implied vol. So if you ever wanted to know what the VIX actually represents, it is approximately the 30-day implied volatility of the SPX, and that should be reflected in the series that is 30 days out from the current date. Now, with implied volatility, we're always talking about expected move. The marketplace's propensity for movement in either direction. So when looking at something like the SPX, and we can switch over to the SPY to see that correlated number, we're looking at about 192 point move in either direction. This would be a normal movement of the marketplace in either direction. When we get to the SPY and we look 30 days out, we see that that also correlates here to about a 19, let's just call it a $20 move in the SPY, higher or lower. What's interesting, however, is that the implied volatility of the ETF itself is a bit higher elevated than the SPX. And oftentimes this does occur. Usually there will be different hedging activities going on inside of different series of the S&P 500 ETF. When we see this, however, that can sort of lead to those different skewing events that we've been discussing. The idea that market participants are starting to pay elevated premium for downside protection. So marketplace is showing a couple of, once again, risk parameters, not necessarily something that needs to be taken action on, but as with everything, there's always going to be sort of the bullish case to the marketplace along with the bearish case. These risk parameters are being displayed in such a way that we can take basically account of where the smart money is moving and whether or not there is still sort of an elevated amount of fear or hedging activity in the market. So with the VIX in this position, and with some option activity that has been occurring in other ETFs, you may want to consider looking at ways to protect your portfolio in the case that the marketplace were to have a larger than normal expected move. Remember, we're talking about expected move here because the marketplace is already pricing in certain expansions of range. And we've talked about what the SPY expects in the next 30 days. That's approximately that 18 to 19% implied volatility, which is approximately about a $20 expected move for the SPY. And that should be something that you should consider for the next 30 days. Can your portfolio handle a downside move in the SPY of 20 points in the next 30 days? If it's larger than 20 points, can you hedge yourself appropriately to take advantage of a larger than expected move, which we have seen. We've seen the likes of Amazon and other large market cap technology stocks have bigger than expected moves, albeit throughout their earnings period, but it is possible. And then ultimately, back to the upside, as this market is still in a very bullish posture, is the upside of an additional 20 points something that you can look to take advantage of with the right risk parameters? Obviously, looking towards technical analysis and the right sectors to find those opportunities. But for this discussion, one way to look at a potential way, I would say protection scenario, a trade idea that allows you to take advantage of this volatility is something along the lines of a VIX volatility spread. So the way this works is obviously through options. And with the VIX, you need to understand that the option pricing is not like a normal equity option pricing. Oftentimes, when you look at contracts that are getting in the money or even at the money, they will start to appreciate in the same increment as the amount of intrinsic value that they're gaining. So for every dollar move in the money, you would expect to see the premium sort of reflect that dollar appreciation along with any extrinsic value that the contracts are holding. The way the VIX works, it's a little bit different. The pricing inside of these VIX contracts is going to be based on VIX volatility futures. And what that means is when you look at the money, at least regarding the VIX index price, you're not going to see what's known as parity between the calls and the puts. You'll notice here that I'm looking at just a 42-day data expiration series for the VIX. And if you notice that we're approximately at the money, the calls and the puts are not trading for the same price. Obviously, the calls are much more elevated in their premium for an 18 strike. So why is this happening? What is this pricing based on? We switch over to volatility futures, which is where the VIX is deriving these prices. And we look out in time to some of the contracts that have volume. Want to definitely look at ones that have any volume. We can see that out in the 43-day contracts, these are trading for approximately 22.35. And when we switch back over to the VIX, we're looking at that same day to expiration series. And if we scroll down to the 22 to 23 strikes, darn it, always happens when I'm right on a roll. We can see that these are in fact trading with the parity that we expect for at the money contracts. So it's a little bit different. It's a little shifted in the way that these work. But what's great about these strategies is that if you're using something like a vertical spread, the risk to reward parameters are actually equivalent based on the width of your spreads and ultimately the length of the vertical that you're buying and selling. So while this can be a bit sort of new for option traders or even ones that have some familiarity with how these series work, you can still look to these as a way to set up sort of risk or reward parameters based on the VIX index going up, down, or staying flat. And one way to do this is to look for sort of low risk, high reward setups that are obviously based around the idea that you're looking for a VIX expansion in the market. Obviously, you want to see the VIX go higher and ultimately potentially hold some of that breakout gain that's seen. This would be the likelihood of a much larger sort of correction in the market. And obviously we should see volatility expand in that event. So one way you can do this is you can look to sell something to the downside. You can look to sell something like a put spread. A very simple example would be, let's say you just want to sell close to the 2015. For this, you would be collecting approximately about $1.75 credit. Market's not open at the moment, so these prices are likely to change. And you're looking for the volatility index to spike pretty significantly. You're actually looking for more of a black swan event in the marketplace. So you go out and you say, well, now I want to go ahead and buy something like a 25.50 spread. Now, what this does is it sets up sort of downside risk in the case that the VIX does not expand and ultimately fades back to some of those relative lows that we've had as of late, along with gives you an upside shot. If the VIX does expand, then ultimately that call vertical should appreciate. And let's take a look at what this looks like from sort of a risk profile perspective. Make sure I don't have another example on here. So when we're looking at this, we can see that if the VIX were to be near the low point of your put spread, go ahead and delete this one just to show the trade. If you're near the low end of your VIX spread, then you've obviously excuse me, you've obviously paid for this trade to be on. Costs you about 45 to put on the entire setup. And if the VIX does not expand, then you're looking to lose based on the width of that put spread. You can obviously close this trade ahead of the max expiration and max loss, but the largest loss that can be incurred is approximately $500 based on the put spread. You also have sort of a neutral zone, and that's in between the 20 put and the 25 call. This is where the trade basically just costs whatever the debit is at the time of opening to place. You're not going to see appreciation from the call spread, and you also use the put spread credit in order to pay for the call spread. So you're basically paying a small amount, and usually you're going to try and get this number as close to zero as possible to make it basically a free type of trade. You will not see any appreciation nor depreciation. Ultimately, it'll cost what the trade costs. But if at any time the VIX does start to expand past 25, you can start to monitor this purple and green line, purple being the date of the time frame here. I don't have the adjuster here, but let's just go ahead and put something like 8:15. This will start to get closer and closer to max profitability at expiration, sort of the flattening of the vertical curve that is likely to occur. So the upside here is that if during or close to expiration, the VIX does expand quite rapidly, then you can take advantage of an upside shot inside of a volatility event in the marketplace. Now, as with every trade, you can be as aggressive or as non-aggressive, as conservative as you want to be. You can even look to simply sell some of these put spreads in the likelihood that the VIX has found some sort of floor in this market. We've kind of seen a bit of bottoming in the VIX. And if you're not saying, if you think that it's going to hold these levels, you can try and sell some premium against some of those low points. But if you're also thinking that the market may expand its volatility, that things are not necessarily as they seem inside of the bullish context, then maybe take some of that premium and put on that upside shot to sort of further the thesis that a volatility event could occur. And keep in mind, you're giving yourself ample time for this to occur. The marketplace doesn't necessarily have to hit those spike points at expiration. You're simply saying, within the next 42 days, I expect volatility to rise. And in doing so, you're exposed to some of that and ultimately can take advantage of any sort of movement in either direction. Now, as I mentioned, a lot of times you want to try and sort of massage this trade to get your debit as low as possible. And what's great about that is, as long as the VIX is sort of staying close to sort of a mean value, approximately that sort of 18 to 25 range, the marketplace will not really reward you with anything, but it's also sort of a costless trade. Your put spread will finance your call spread. If the volatility contracts significantly, obviously that's when your risk parameters come in. But we've seen some potential bottoming inside of the VIX. And ultimately, every thesis has a counter thesis. So if you're a trader, you know what the risk parameters are, and you can ultimately close the trade prior to full max loss. Finally, the upside shot, you're definitely giving yourself the advantage of, even if you're looking at max risk and max reward, excuse me, we're still talking about a 5-to-1 risk to reward parameter inside of this trade. The most you can lose is 500 per spread. The most you can gain is about 2,500. That'll obviously change based on how much you pay. So some different things to consider. Obviously, look, if you're interested in this strategy, look to sort of mess around with different strikes, different series. It doesn't even necessarily have to be selling verticals. You can look to sell different premium structures to the downside and facilitate sort of an upward shot in volatility. Some people actually like to take back ratios to the upside. What that does is it does not cap the profit potential to the upside, but the market would really have to have a pretty nasty volatility event for that to sort of match, if not exceed, the profitability of a spread like this. So no matter how you construct it, be sure to take advantage of some of the differences in how these options are established. Notice that if you're just buying calls, and that's sort of the last point I'll leave you with, notice that if you're just buying calls, the sort of change in I would say risk or reward is quite different, along with the fact that these calls do not appreciate in the same way that other calls in other marketplaces do. Something like a 19 or a 20 call, the VIX would have to essentially go up by about 7 points for that contract to double. And if you're just buying a call and the VIX does nothing or it goes down, then you're going to lose that premium. You're basically not financing the upside shot with any sort of downside spread or premium selling strategy. So to be long does not necessarily mean to buy a call. look for more advanced ways to set these up, and specifically look for ways to where you do not have to pay much of a debit to be exposed to this potential upside shot. So that's pretty much it for today. My name is Jared. This is Engineering the Markets. Obviously, keep trading safe. Let's see what August continues to have for us. Not really a great open to the market overall on the first day of August. We looked at some of the reasons why, and obviously with the SPY in a bit of a tight balanced range, we want to see if the market can start to deviate from those low and high points inside of something like the SPY. Um, Sort of the last thing to mention here, showing that range and obviously showing sort of the midpoint, this sort of 439 market needs to sort of leave this area to get any sort of bias moving forward. So that said, y'all trade safe and we'll talk more tomorrow.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Market Prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Noam. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you, buddy?
Doing good, my friend. Doing good. All right, guys. Let's give a big thumbs up for Jared for engineering the markets every single morning at 8 a.m. We appreciate that very, very much. Love his insights as usual. Let's get to what we had yesterday on our list, guys. Starting with Neo. This is, I mean, all eyes were on Neo yesterday and AMD. If you just watched those two, you probably had a decent trading day. Again, looking at Neo here, let's go back to our 5 minute and let's look at yesterday's action. This would have been right over here, 8-2. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, this is it right over here. All right, here we go. So again, just an amazing intraday trade on Neo. The entire day this thing was in play. I mean, it's just moving so nicely. In the last couple of weeks, I mean, Neo's one of those stocks that's been on our list quite a bit and kind of doing amazing. So here it is. Beautiful breakout on the 5 minute. We had a lot of traders take this in very early, myself included, with a couple other traders got in pretty nice on this one. And look at the beautiful continuation you get here. Holds on to the 9 moving average, continues to break higher, all the way up to 46.75. I unfortunately took everything out here. It was a good move already. And I said in the chat room, the minute I get out, watch Neo go to 47. Not quite, but 46.88. Pretty close up there. Got another continuation there. And then towards the downside, became very weak here. Obviously extended on the 5 minute. Comes down here, gives you even more opportunities to trade this the entire day. So again, Neo just continues to play very nice. AMD, guys, another one that is just killing it yesterday. Does drop down here, does find a bottom. This is a great indication. And we learned this very early on with the education courses that Andrew was putting up here. You know, when you start seeing these new higher lows, right? When you see they cannot make a new low, new higher lows, that's a good indication the stock wants to turn the other way. So here you can see that comes up to the VWAP, gives you a nice little bull flag here, and then the takeoff. And AMD never looks back. I mean, this thing is just on fire. You get a very long consolidation on here. But again, if you're in anywhere on the VWAP here, you can hold through this. You can be patient and hold through this. It's not testing your entry. And then again, goes all the way up to the new all-time highs. I think this is what, 110.20 or whatever it is, 110.35-ish around there. So that is your all new time high in that area. And again, just AMD continues to be strong. Today, not as much volume as we've seen in the last couple of days, but I would definitely have this on my list. We also had XPEF on here, not as clean as Neo. I mean, this thing was moving, but look how choppy this was. It did get going late, but again, your eyes were probably elsewhere by this time, Neo or AMD. SQ, guys, let's not forget about SQ. This thing is just incredible. The move actually started going in the pre-market. The pre-market was very strong. We were talking about this thing closing the gap yesterday. It did just that and more. I mean, just insane. So right out of the gates, this thing starts to get going like 5 minutes before the market open, gives you the continuation and then some, and just again, just ripping nicely here on SQ. I had Apple. I didn't really watch Apple. Again, there was just so many other stuff that was trading well. So I don't know how this price action was here. Again, didn't look so great. PayPal, didn't really pay attention to PayPal neither because we just had Neo, SQ, and AMD. These three really took all the action yesterday. So that is what we had on our list, guys. Let's talk a little bit about coming up events for today and this week.
Yeah, buddy. I mean, we've got a little bit of economic data, nothing earth-shattering. Auto sales will be coming out, so that obviously will be moving things in that sector. We once again have China coming out. I guess they printed a story overnight talking about online gaming and online gaming companies. I believe they called it digital opium. So you can see a number of things in that getting hit. CRSR, Billy's getting hit. But anyway, yeah, so it's just the punches keep on coming with that. With China, I don't understand what they're trying to do, why they're trying to tank all these companies, but oh well. Anyway, SPY, as Jared mentioned, it was an interesting day. I mean, we've got a lot of noise going on right now, and it's all pretty meaningless. It's August. It's terrible. It's a terrible month for the market in general. Just people on vacation, nothing really going on. So, low volume, high volatility, meaningless moves. We opened up with a decent gap yesterday and sold it off. So once again, gapping up, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely interesting times. Let's jump on here, guys, and see what we have on our gappers list this morning. Looking at it so far, we're kind of evened out on both ends of the field here, red and green. So we got a couple on both sides. Some tickers we have not seen in quite some time that we know don't really trade all that well. So we'll see if anything is new and exciting on this list this morning. I'll tell you this much. There's some tickers I'm going to keep on here already. So I'm going to start with those. I'm going to keep Neo because Neo has just been so good to watch. Man, I did that the old way there. That's okay. We'll start putting our rows in here. We'll put Neo on here. I'm definitely going to be watching AMD, guys. I think these two here are just been so great to watch the last couple of days. They got their own independent catalyst going on right now, and they've just been wonderful to watch. So we'll keep those two on there. Let's start what's gapping up this morning. WHLM today. This one here up 37%. 794.
Yeah, it's a very low float. There are some things that say 3 million. Regardless, it is a modeling and representative agency. There were some they filed some reports showing some ownership changes and stuff, popping them up this morning. I don't know that it's anything to watch, but
yeah, agree 100%. And coming from the low float king yesterday, who killed it, I would take his advice and not put this on my list. TBIO this morning, 65 million shares flow. Ooh, this is horrible. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Let's get rid of that. And for those that do not know, a buyout looks like this. You're going to get volume, right? You have 6.4 million here. You're up 30%, but it's really not tradable, right? So we'll skip on that one. ZI. They are up 13%, 166,000 shares traded so far. Daily is it's a little light on volume, 2.6 or less seems to be the average, probably a lot less. I'm not sure, guys. I'm not sure about this one. Spread right now is 20 cents or so. Let's see. Let's see what
I've
happens.
never traded this. It doesn't look great
Yeah.
to me, but who knows? Maybe it gets better. I don't know that I've ever even seen this pop up. And I know the
Yeah.
company, but I don't know that I've ever seen it pop up in our gappers list in the 2.5 years that you and I have been doing this show together, which is kind of
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
They did have earnings last night. They're getting some upgrades this morning. So maybe there's something there. But as you said, it's usually pretty low volume, 1.73 million on average. So it's got to get volume to be worthwhile.
Agree 100%. And yeah, I'm with you, man. I don't ever recall seeing this ticker come up. So we'll see. Let's keep it on here just to see how this thing trades. Again, nice gap up this morning. Not a great pre-market action, not a great daily, but we'll give it some time to develop here. PCSA, here we have 11.7, 917. I think we've seen this before. The daily is just brutal here, guys. This daily is just not clean at all. And they're barely getting any volume. Today, they're seeing a lot more than usual, 918,000. Pre-market actions got some movement in here. I really do not like this daily at all. I'm not sure I'm going to watch this, even with this somewhat decent pre-market action, right? It's not great, but it's decent, right? You got some movement here. You got some volume. You're up 12%. But I don't know. You know what? We'll come back to it.
They had an investment bank come out and initiate coverage with a $20 price target on it. Those are probably, I don't know, usually not the best catalyst.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's lowish float, 10 million.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Okay, so yeah, I definitely do not like this one, guys. I'm going to take it off. If it gets better, we can always add it on, but I don't like anything that's happening there right now. NETE, at the moment, they are 4.2 million. Volume is extremely light at the moment. Daily is horrible, but that's okay for a low flow stock. We want the pre-market action to look great and want the volume to be there. NETE doesn't have it right now. We've seen it trade well in the past before. We have at least looked at it. I'm not sure if we actually traded it. We'll put it on here. It's got to get better in the pre-market. So we'll give it a couple of minutes here. Sava is up 6%, 193,000 shares traded. I'll add it on here. I know there's some traders that do like this one. And it is tradable, guys. You can trade this stock. You just got to be very cautious with the share size and you take care because this thing can move, obviously.
I believe they're supposed
aggressive.
to have earnings this morning, but I don't know that I've seen anything come out on it. So I don't know that it has yet.
Okay.
Maybe it has, but I hate this stock. So
yeah, I don't like this stock neither.
I'm grumpy this morning, man. Sorry.
It's all good, man.
Shooting it straight.
Yeah, it's all good.
The spread on Sava is terrible, as pointed out there.
You know what? I added to my possibles list to go back and look at it to see how it trades in the intraday. But man, we're having so much fun with Neo AMD and what's the other one that was really good? I forgot already, but there was no point in watching this. It's just there was no point in watching this yesterday. Here's a UAA and also UA. They're both the same thing. One is a different share class. Well, which one's the one that trades better? I think it's UAA, right?
So let's talk about this for a second because somebody asked specifically, what is the difference between this and why are these here? So there are two different. You have two different share classes here that are traded publicly, UA and UAA. UAA are the Class A shares with voting rights. UA were formerly UA.C, which were the Class C, no voting rights shares. I believe I think that's right. If I got it backward, I apologize. It's somewhat irrelevant because the founder of the company actually has a huge chunk of Class B shares, which are not traded publicly. He retains very much. He has controlling voting. They have disproportionate number of votes allotted per share. So anyway, that's the breakdown. And the easy way to do this is if I'm going to trade this and I've got two options, same thing with CCL and CUC. You always go with the one that has more volume. Is my rule.
Agree 100%. So here we have UAA, which has a lot more volume, 974. Earnings, what's going on? Pre-market earnings this morning. Okay, so let's add a UAA AA here today. That looks good this morning, up 6%. Not a bad pre-market action. They usually don't have a great clean daily, candles on the pre-market. They are sitting on the New York Stock Exchange. But today I think they're really in play with their earnings. Let's see how this goes. So we'll add that on here. BP, foreign stock, normally doesn't trade very well. They have a great pre-market action this morning, though. I got to tell you, this is good. Great volume, 832. They're up 4%. We've seen like 1 or 2 days out of the year where this stock actually trades very good. Today's looking like it. I got to tell you, the pre-market action does look very interesting here. I'm not a big fan of it, but I'm going to add it today. I do like the way this pre-market is forming right now. But again, just be mindful. They are a foreign stock. They're very gappy. Their price action usually never looks like this in the pre-market. They must have some good catalyst or something because they don't trade well at all. And this could be gone by the market open. So I'm going to put it on here with knowing that might drop off pretty fast. AHPI,
foreign company usually trades like garbage, but
yeah. Exactly. AHPI, I know this low flow has been hot over the last couple of days. I personally do not like this one. I think Brian had traded this. He got caught in the halt and actually turned out really nice. Yesterday morning, he got in here right before this thing halted, caught a nice little pop and got partialed out here very nicely. Again, it takes a very experienced kind of trader like Brian to trade something like this. I don't like this stock at all. We'll add it to the list here. Actually, the volume is not even as great as it was yesterday. I'm not going to add this one. They have a very high short interest, though, 55 right here. So keep that in mind that could be interesting. If we get a nice little squeeze here going. The way the daily setting up looks like that might be in the books. But again, for me,
I think that might already be toast.
Yeah, right.
Based on the number of shares it's traded and the pops and everything else. Yeah.
Okay. So
that info is so delayed. I'm trying to think. That number would be effective July 15th. So
yeah, look how much has moved after that, right? Yeah. That could have been gone on the 19th right here. So yeah, I agree with you 100%, Norm. MU is making an appearance here. They are up 2%. Interesting action here. Doesn't look all that great, but MU doesn't look great in the pre-market at times. I'll add it as a possible. We'll take a look at it before we chop it there. Gapping down this morning, CLX. What is this? This is Clorox?
Clorox, yeah.
Wow.
Trades terribly.
They're taking a hit this morning, down 11.
Yeah, they had earnings. I mean, they have run like crazy over. If you pull back or go to a weekly and look back over a year or two, I mean, with the pandemic, they were just killing it. Mm-hmm. They had earnings. People aren't buying as much Clorox as they were a year ago, obviously.
Right. So they're taking a nice little hit this morning. But again, guys, as Norm mentioned, this stock trades horrible. Today might be a difference. But even then, I don't know. I'll put it as a possible just to see how it goes, but most likely not going to stay there. This stock is very, very hard to trade. DLPN, this low flow was amazing yesterday. We got some action this morning already, 458. This is the one that, Norm, you got in right before that pop in the pre-market, man. It's just perfectly timed. That was right over here somewhere, I believe. So again, just beautiful. Action was in the pre-market, didn't do much at the market open. In the pre-market right now, we are seeing some movement. Let's see where that goes. We'll add it here next to NETE. Again, the big move was yesterday, guys. Do not expect it's going to do that again today. The second days are usually very tough after you have a really nice day. So they're down now. Unless they can get going and get above this previous day close, it'll be a tough trade. NTES this morning, they're down 7.5. Horrible daily. Pre-market action is not looking great. Spread is about 23 cents at the moment. Less actually, 13. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one. I'm not sure. It looks funky. I don't like the pre-market action. This is one of those stocks that again, it just doesn't look like it's going to trade very well. Here's Billy. I would like to watch Billy today. See what's going on with this madness. There are 295,000 shares traded. They're down 6.3. Let's see where this goes this morning. Billy can trade very well at times. CRSR. This is also a Chinese gaming stock you mentioned, right? Corsairs. Yeah. So another one also taking a hit here, down 5.5. Could be interesting.
Corsair is not. I don't think it's Chinese, but they're getting hit nonetheless. I mean they're involved. I don't think they're headquartered there, but they've got a lot of business there, which is hitting them. Just to be clear on that.
Okay, gotcha. So they're taking a hit here, 5.5 right now, 320,000. I like this drop here. I don't know how well this stock trades. We never usually watch it as much. We'll see. Possible for now. Huya this morning, not looking good in the pre-market, not looking so great on the daily. We'll skip on this one. Tau, no, I don't want to watch this. Emrin, a low flow stock. Emrin has been fun to watch at times. Today does not seem like that day. Down 3.9, only 200,000 shares traded. We need a lot more for that type of flow. ERYP, we saw this. When was it? We had some on our list before. I don't think it traded any good. No, this was the nasty one. This was really bad. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah. So let's skip on that. LI this morning. I got Neo up here. I'll keep my eyes on Neo. LI, also has been in play over the last couple of days. EVs have been trading very well. Tesla has been doing very well too. But Neo has been my go-to. We can add XBEV here. It's another one that did not trade so well yesterday, but maybe today could be difference. But again, Neo, I think is the one that's really trading the best out of all of these at the moment. All right, that is what we have. Norm, what do you like on your end?
I'm still looking, man. This kind of looks like a crappy day despite this number of gappers on here, so we'll see.
I agree, man. And you can tell by our list here. If you look at my list, I'm watching stuff like Neo, which is not even on the gappers list, AMD, which is not on the gappers list, just based on how they've been trading. And the only two we pulled from the gappers list that look decent is UAA because they have earnings, and Billy because it's potential they can trade very well. But even if we look at that daily, that pre-market action is not all that exciting just yet. We'll see. We'll see. So one of those.
Let me be clear, man. I'm running on very low sleep. My son would not go to bed last night. You know the pain of this. Oh, yes, so I'm not going to be trading today.
And that's a smart move.
Sometimes you just got to know your limits. That's why I sound like I do as well. So, and probably is why I'm a little grumpy.
No, it's all good, man. You sound fine to me. Well, Jamie thinks you sound like your voice is deeper than Vin Diesel's family in the family reunion. But it's all good, my friend. It's all good. All right, let's go over to the chat. What do we have here? Let's start with Goose XPEV. Yes, I did add that to my secondary list. I like Neo a whole lot better. Tesla, I believe, is in play as well. Well, not really in play, but it's been trading well. So if you've been watching this one, you can put it on deck. I'm going to stick to Neo, man. That's been my go-to the last couple of days, and it's doing very, very well. Pins is interesting. Look, they dropped again yesterday, and now they are below the previous day close, not by much. This is, man, they're taking a bit of a hit here. Usually stocks, when they drop this much, they'll consolidate, try to get above to close this gap. They're doing quite the opposite. Like this could be a good possible for today. They can trade horrible, guys. You saw what happened when they gapped down, and we looked at that market open. I mean, it was just nasty. So keep that in mind. This could be a very, very horrible trading stock, right? We'll keep it as a possible for now. Might not even stay there. Let's take a look at BABA this morning. They are down almost 1%. Pre-market action actually not bad for BABA. You got some good movement in here and some more movement happening right now. So yeah, that looks interesting. I usually don't like BABA, but it's not a lot that looks great today. So we'll add BABA on here. Heading on down, what do we have here, guys? Let's see. OTLK. No, I don't like the way this is moving. I mean, you got 16 million shares traded, and I've seen this stock in the past before. It's done this in a crazy amount of volume, and it just doesn't trade very well. So I don't like this one. Be careful with that one if you are going to be trading it. No volume, but the daily looks good. DAL, yeah, daily does look good. Nice little drop here after consolidating. Not much going on as far as volume. You're absolutely correct there. American Airlines, I don't think is in play. Neither. CCL. Yeah, it could be some good ones to maybe see if they hit the scanners or later on down the line. But right now, nothing happening. Same thing with Oxy. Again, volume is very light. Also dropping here a little bit. Interesting consolidation, and now you're getting a drop. Maybe heading down to this area in the next couple of days, depending how things go. But as far as intradating right now, to have it on our main list might not be the best. Heading on down, AMC. So a couple of you guys throwing that one out. Let's take a look at AMC this morning. Yeah, it could be interesting. We got some volume here. They've just been really consolidating over the last couple of days. There's been better stuff to watch. It could be something. And again, a lot of could be's this morning, guys. Nothing that looks really, really great so far. All right, let's do three more. Becky, Twitter, and RL. We'll stop there. So we'll see what Becky's up to this morning.
Oh, God, Becky.
Oh, they are not looking good, guys.
Trash.
So this is not good at all. Yeah, let's run from that. Let's go over to Twitter. See what we have here. Twitter this morning, not a whole lot going on. Yeah, again, they have some really good days in here, but not really in play, guys. Not really in play today. RL
13,000 shares traded, not in play. RL 32,000 shares traded, not in play.
And this one, even when it has great volume. Oh, this stock is bad, man.
You see anywhere on there it has great volume?
Well, yeah, we've seen 200,000, but yeah, this is horrible. This is a horrible stock. Run from that. All right, guys, let's stop here. I like to check this one, SQ, just for the heck of it. You know, SQ could be a good possible, just because of the day he had yesterday. All right, let's take over on YouTube, guys. What do we have?
Mindful Monday. We got to hurry this up a little bit, guys.
Oh, yes, we do. We have Dr. Katz coming up. A thoughtful Tuesday, actually, today.
Tired Tuesday, bro.
SQ, we do have Becky. We looked at, guys. That's good. Let me see. SEDG. We'll take a look at SDEG. No volume, guys. We need something good here. CLX, we do have here the Clarks. We'll see how that goes. KOPN. No, it's not good, guys. You see, we're fishing here. There's not a lot that looks great. I think we have a good list already. Let's go over to community announcements.
Go fishing, I think, than trade today.
Yeah, that would be a lot better than what we have on our list.
All right, guys. Success webinar tonight, 8 p.m. Peter's going to be talking about his. It's. I don't know the official title, and I apologize because it was a last minute. We had to switch some things around, and he opted to take that slot. So thank you, Peter. But it's essentially a roadmap, the first year of trading. It should be very interesting. He's done it before, but it's now new and improved. So go check that out, 8 p.m. this evening, Eastern time. Then tomorrow night, we've got Dr. Kenneth Reed, part of his Mastermind Pro course, talking about trading the open, but not opening ranges. As I mentioned, 8 p.m. tomorrow night. And the next week, we'll have Mike doing his module on the importance of discipline in trading. That'll be next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you want to participate in the member trade of the day, trade of the week, take a screenshot of your best trade of the day with entries and exits, of course, and then add any commentary you can to describe the trade. Post it on Twitter, tagging @BearableTraders, @MikeB_BBT, and @NormBBT. Also use hashtags BBT Family, Day Trading and Stock Market. We'll announce the winner each afternoon in the Closing Bell Show and on Twitter. And then we will all vote for Trade of the Week over the weekend, and we will announce that on Monday on Twitter and in the room. Just a reminder, if you're watching on YouTube, haven't been in the room, use promo code PREMARKET24 to get a discount off the intro membership. That is 7 calendar days, 5 trading days, after which it just cancels itself. And if you want to continue going on, you have to actually choose a membership level. Then if you want to become an elite member, you can use the promo code SUMMER40. It'll get you 40% off the annual elite membership. Good morning, Dr. Katz. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Norm. Sorry to hear you had a little bit of a rough night. I guess I remember those days in the distant past. This is the advantage of having adult children. There are always new problems, but sleep at night and having your kids keep you up is not one of them.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm one day. 99.999% of it is awesome, but when you're dead tired to begin with and your kid will not go to sleep, it is difficult to say the least. Anyway, having been said, we this morning hope you had good travels and everything, but we are going to be talking about the joy that we've been missing in the last, feels like an eternity now. So often.
First of all, just want to apologize to the BBT community for being a day late on this. I know you guys and myself, I enjoy starting the week with the Monday Mindfulness. So today is Tuesday Mindfulness. So hopefully you managed fine yesterday, and we'll try to impart some good words of wisdom today. Yeah, as Norm said, there was a couple of weeks ago, I read this article by the psychologist Adam Grant, who I've referred to before. And he talked about, again, this kind of specific kind of joy we've all been kind of missing throughout the pandemic. And I thought this was really appropriate for not only trading, but for the BBT community actually specifically. Because most people view emotions as really existing primarily or really exclusively in their heads. But the reality is that emotions are really inherently social. And they're really woven through our interactions with other people. And research has really found that people laugh 5 times as often when they're with others versus being alone. So even exchanging pleasantries with a stranger actually can spark some joy. And peak happiness lies mostly in collective activity. And we find our greatest often bliss in the moments of what Grant calls this collective effervescence, really a sense of harmony and energy that people feel when they really come together in a group around a shared purpose, much like the BBT community. So during the pandemic, basically that was been largely absent from our lives. There were fewer moments like this, which was why it was so important, I feel, for the BBT community to come together, especially during the pandemic when all of us kind of had limited contacts with other people, and those moments of joy and bliss and collective effervescence weren't there. You were always able to kind of keep that going with the BBT community. And without that, we could all get drawn into a dark cloud. Emotions are really like contagious diseases. They spread from person to person. So, emotional contagion is literally when we are infected with other people's emotions. And people often don't realize that this is happening. And when the pandemic really first hit, the main emotion the negative emotion we all experienced was fear. Then there was depression and some anxiety spiked, and that was not only caused by the crisis, but really was transferred from person to person. And so you're really at a heightened risk of these emotions, when you're close and near to to other people who are experiencing this. Social media can also spread this as well. Emotional contagion can also partly explain some of the Zoom fatigue that a lot of people have. And actually, psychologists also find that in cultures where people pursue happiness individually, they may actually become lonelier. But in cultures when the pursuit of happiness is kind of more social and through connecting, people appear to be more likely to gain a sense of well-being. So we really should think of flourishing, which I had spoken about in past weeks, less as a personal euphoria and more as an active one. Joy shared is really joy sustained. And this is where, apart from other things that are going on in your life, the BBT community becomes so essential. Your trading can go well, your trading can go poorly, but the level and the sense of connectedness that people have, not only with folks like Norm and Carlos and kind of more the BBT management team, but I know all the groups and chats that you guys are all on together. It's so valuable, and valuable psychologically and emotionally in ways that go far beyond your trading, but go to your core emotional health and sense of well-being. So props to all of you out there in the BBT community in managing with all of this, both trading wise and just kind of in a well-being wise as you move forward in your life. So that's what I got for you today, Norm.
Appreciate it, Dr. Katz. And that's also, as I mentioned yesterday, the super chat revenue that we get over on YouTube, we're going to start donating it. The first one is in honor of Peter and the work he does in the mental health field, but it's also because of everybody that's been struggling for the last year. So anything we can do to help there. And hopefully we're close to the end of this and people can start to see people again and get in a better state of mind. So thank you, Dr. Katz. Have a great rest of your week.
And Norm, I
Yes,
wish
sir.
you a good night's sleep tonight and a fresh, strong start tomorrow.
Well, my son, I've got 14 more years till he goes off to college, something like that. So,
hey, Norm, don't rush the process, please.
No, I definitely, I don't want to. No, I don't want to rush the process. I enjoy every moment of it, except between about 9 o'clock and midnight when he's not sleeping. That part I could do away with. Anyway, y'all have a great day, Dr. Katz.
Okay, man. You stay well.
See ya.
All right, thank you, Dr. Katz. Guys, let's make sure we give a big thumbs up for that nice segment there and that great information as usual over on YouTube. So highly appreciate that. All right, let's get to it. Let's look at our list here. Neo, we'll start there. And no. That was good.
Guys.
That was good.
Robbie just said I have 2 in college, still don't sleep. Don't tell me that. You're going to kill all my dreams.
Do not scare Norm.
One day.
Oh, man. All right, guys, let's get to it. So Neo on deck. Definitely love that one this morning. AMD, I'm going to keep here. Has been so great to watch. UAA has had earnings, I believe, right? That's what we saw there. So that one looking good today as well. Got some real nice volume. This pre-market action is not the best, but for a stock sitting on the New York Stock Exchange, that's not bad. We have Billy here as well. I do like this drop they have this morning. We'll see where that goes. I have Baba here. They're moving very well with some really good volume. I think they are looking good for this list this morning. And we also have AMC, which is dropping here. And AMC losing some levels here. We've been talking about this, right? Got a couple of areas of support here that we're kind of losing. Yesterday, we lost this one. Today, we're kind of testing this one right over here, this support there. Let's see where this is going to go. Volume is okay this morning. We do have shares for sure. So AMC is looking good. I think we have a good list. I added SQ here. This could be a good possible this morning. I have pins. I love this drop here that we had yesterday, so that could be a nice one. I'm going to remove XBEV. You know, I got Neo on here. I think Neo's been trading really well. XBEV has been a little bit more choppy, so we'll just remove that there. I put MU on here because they're making some noise this morning. They're up 2.3. I like the possible breakout here towards 80. That could be exciting. BP, you know, this is a foreign stock. I do like their pre-market action today, though, so I just want to keep it on here. Maybe even if I don't trade it, just to see how this is going to translate after the bell. What kind of action we're going to get there. But this morning, they're looking pretty good. Great volume. And not typically how they look in the morning. Sava, I'm going to remove, guys. I know this thing is fun. It's fun to watch, and it can move, you know, very wild at times. I just know personally for me, it just doesn't fall into my criteria of stuff that I would like to trade, especially managing the risk on that. ZI, we had a nice gap up, but again, I'm not seeing anything good here. I don't think we ever seen this stock on our list. I'm going to remove it for now. We have Clorox here. I know they're down huge. They're down 11.3. I'm going to keep it on here just to see how this stock is going to trade. But just a reminder that normally this stock does not intraday trade very clean. It's very choppy. The spread at times could be horrible. So just keep that in mind if you're going to be touching this one this morning. CRCS. They're down 6.8. Yeah, we could keep this on here. We got some good possibles this morning, or at least decent. We'll see where this goes. All right, let's get levels for our main list this morning. We have Neo. We already got some levels on here, which I think might be looking pretty good. We have 48.68. I think that stays in play there. 47.26 is still a good one. And now we have 45. Look at this 45.84 that we added here. I'm going to remove that one because that is basically exactly your previous day close. So let's get rid of that. Previous day close is going to take over that. And that is also your high of your pre-market to the penny, 48.85. Now towards the bottom, we do have the the high from today's ago right on there. So that's becoming the low of the pre-market this morning. We also have some levels towards the bottom, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. I have this 43.80 here. Where is this coming from? I guess this around this area right on here. Yeah, we could keep that on there too. So plenty of levels, guys. I think you don't need to add anything. It looks pretty good right now for Neo. Volume is a little bit lighter than it was the last 2 days, but I think it's still a good one to watch this morning. Here is AMD. AMD hitting all-time highs. We can remove. Actually, it's 107.50. Let's just move it up to the pre-market low this morning over at 107.64. So we'll do that there. Outside of that, you're pretty much set on levels, guys. This thing has been tearing it up here, guys. Green day after green day, just trading nicely here, hitting 110 something. Looks very good. Let's see how this thing is going to trade today. And if you look at the intraday action, it has been trading very clean on top of it, right? So we're seeing an increase in volume, a lot of strength in this. And if you look at the intraday, it's been pretty nice there. UAA, I do like the pop this morning. If it comes down here before the market open, it starts chopping around, and then it won't be a good one. And looking at this more is looking more of a possible once you start looking at the bigger picture. 23 is the high of the pre-market, the low of the pre-market slamming over at 21.40. We'll put a level there, and then price action sitting right on a level. The price right now, 22.30-ish. So I'm going to throw a level there as well. This is going to be right over here. You can see clearly how many touches we're getting around in that area. could be the reason why we're consolidating around here, right? Kind of just wrapping our way around this 22.25, 22.30. But if you look at the bigger picture here, if you zoom out a little bit, you can see the many areas of resistance and support that you have around that level. So that makes perfect sense there. So if we're able to break out towards the top here, 23, next level on the daily, which is not a great one, a great daily, it will be this one over here, 23.49. Your high of your pre-market, also an area where you see a lot of touches on there, that 23. So you got a bunch of resistance happening here around that 23 price target. Here's Billy this morning. I do like the drop here. The daily has just been, you know, all these Chinese style, you kind of see the same pattern, right? We had the pop up, gap down a few times and try to recover. Is gapping down again 6% this morning with some decent volume. We're stuck between the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. Towards the bottom, I think the only thing you need to probably add is 79.07. So we'll throw a level there. I think we're pretty much set on Billy. So more of a possible type stock, but we'll keep it on here. Let's see how it goes. Baba is definitely on fire, guys, and not in a good way. It's on fire, heading down here, down 2.2, but it's moving very well in the pre-market. So low of the pre-market, 194.05, surrounded right now by the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. We got a nice consolidation range happening right on here. You can see that right on there. So let's see if we're looking to retest this 190. Every time we get to 190, we find a way to bounce back up. At least the last 2 times we did, right? We gapped down here and found a way to move up here. So that's nice. Let's see what it does here. Are we looking to test that 190 again? At the moment, heading towards that 194, our pre-market low. Let's see if we find support there as we move down towards that. AMC, let me see levels. Are we good on levels? Yeah, we're good on levels. We're pretty good on levels on Baba. AMC this morning, trying to hold on to yesterday's low here, just slightly below the previous day close. Again, I have this one just to complete my 6. It is not a great one. I don't think it's really one in play, but again, if we start losing this, we got some good daily stuff we can get to. 32.92 and 31.11 could be some really 2 good levels that we can try to test here. We'll have to see how this thing opens up, and just be prepared for this to be choppy, guys. I will not be surprised if that's the case on AMC. High of the pre-market is probably the only other level I am going to add. That is going to be at 35.74, and then above that you do have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. So decent list. Again, not a blockbuster list today, but decent. We'll have to just be patient, guys. Wait for some good setups. 2 of the stocks I have here are not even on our gappers list. They've just been trading so well. And the other ones, you know, they are like glorified possibles that can trade very well today. So let's see. Let's take a look over at our moderators lineup. What do we have there, guys? Let me resize this, bring this over. While I'm doing that, make sure you hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. It does help us out a whole lot. And if you're first time in the channel, you have not subscribed, please do so. We go live every market day, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. with Engineering the Markets, and then followed by pre-market show and then live trading with Brian, Andrew, or Thor, or Peter at times. So let me bring this over here, see what our moderators lineup looks like. Oh, pretty light this morning. And I think I know why. It's not a whole lot that looks great. So our moderating team is not convinced on what they like this morning so far, which it is. It's not a great watch list. But here's Dima. She likes MU, UAA, AMD, and Apple. Jerry is looking at MU, UAA, AMD, NEO, and AMC. For setups, yeah, I think this is the same thing I'm looking for. You gotta wait for the setup there. Tiffany, she's watching MU, UAA, secondary list, Tesla, BP, and Clorox. Thor, not in love with much today, completely agree. But if he wasn't to watch something, it would be AMD, NEO, Apple, Pins, UAA, and Microsoft this morning. Eamon is looking at American Airlines, BE, JP Morgan, secondary list, Zoom, CCL, CGC, and BB on his list today. So that is what we have, guys. 9:13. Please be patient as we transition over to Brian and I believe Andrew are going to be trading live. So make sure you stick around for that. It does take a little bit for us to switch over. So do not leave over on YouTube. Just wait a couple of seconds there. In the meantime, let's do a quick recap. We have NEO here, guys. Again, been trading very, very well. So definitely like this one, dropping down nicely. this morning. Here's AMD, a little bit all over the place right now, but what I like about it, more important, is picking up volume. So let's not worry too much about this madness here. This stock has been really, really strong. It is extended, but I like the fact that it's picking up volume. We'll wait for this one to see at the market open what it does. And this is a good one to wait, 10 minutes, because that first 5 minutes, that first 10 minutes, you have everybody just throwing shares all over the place. It settles down, and if it can pick a direction like it has done in the past, it can be really, really nice. I like to stay close to the VWAP as much as possible for this one, if we can. Here's UAA. Again, I like the pop here this morning. They do have earnings, great volume right now. I would love for this to head towards the northeast. I don't want this going down here to this congested area. It can get even more choppy. I would like to see a breakout above 23 on this one. And we do have some levels on the daily that we can get to, guys, 23.50. So that is what I'm looking for on that one. Again, doesn't look great pre-market. It typically does not. They are sitting on the New York Stock Exchange, and sometimes those stocks don't get great volume. Also, this stock is not a great trading stock. If you look at the volume overall on the daily, it's very light. They don't move great. But today, with earnings, hopefully, in this great volume in the pre-market, hopefully we can get something going there. Billy's pre-market action is okay. Their volume is all right. You know what, Billy? It's more of a possible. I have to say, I got to bring this down. It's more of a possible. This does not belong here. I like to complete my 6, but that does not belong there. Baba looks very good, guys. Working very nicely in the pre-market right now. And AMC could have some potential here if we start dropping down. So we have 5 today. Yeah, see here. And I think we're all set. All right, guys. So Brian coming up. He'll be starting up his engines over there in a second, and he'll join us. And then I believe Andrew, if not Andrew Thor, but I believe Andrew will also be joining us as well. Let's see here. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, there it is. Brian, good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing, Carlos?
Doing very, very good. I'm going to switch over to you guys over on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us this morning so far. We'll continue with Brian and Andrew trading live. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, guys. It helps us out a whole lot in the channel. Takes you 2 seconds, but it means the world to us. So thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow again at 8 a.m. So trade safe, guys.
Yeah, good morning. And good morning, everybody. Let's see. I still have not finalized a watch list yet. It does look like WHLM is kind of in play. So I'm going to probably have that on my list. Looks like the Chinese stocks are getting hit again. Back, I'm not sure what's going on. Billy's down quite a bit. So I'm going to watch Billy. CRSR could be interesting too. MU just seems a little choppy. AAA, UAA, I don't know. We'll see if it, we'll see what it does at the open. That could be interesting. But it's an NYSE stock. Carlos has already talked about how they can be choppy. Energy down again today. Energy took a big hit yesterday. Yeah. Solar stocks. I know there was an upgrade on First Solar, I thought. Yeah, first solar's up. What's SunPower doing? No. I did pick up some YUOU yesterday. Had a bit of a pullback after that surge up, and still have some this morning, but probably gonna sell some of that because it really took a big run yesterday in the afternoon. That was from the swing trade watch list. Okay. So I'm going to watch Billy. See here, Sava's really bouncing here. More of a difficult stock to trade. Yeah, not seeing much else. Tesla could be strong today. Generally don't trade strong like $700 stocks, but um, okay. Well, that's what I'm going to watch so far here. So we'll set up the charts here. Billy's still looking weak here. No, I'm not watching QS for a swing. I can take a look at it later. QS has got a lot of, from what I remember, it's got a pretty high short interest. Lots of skepticism about their technology. What are other people watching here? Just got one chart I can still use for something. Yeah, I don't like the way MU is trading at all. UAA looks choppy as well. Yeah, AMD just you just have to be careful about it at the open. You don't want to jump in on that one too early. Maybe I will stick a Peter, I'm always listening to you. Yeah, this SCDG is really pretty strong today. Hey, good morning, Air. Look at that.
Hey, what's up, Ryan?
There's a face with no glasses on.
I know, right? Incredible.
Yeah.
Science.
Yeah. I didn't barely recognize you.
Yeah, thanks. It was actually funny when we had the meetup in New York. I wore contacts because I hadn't gotten LASIK at that point, and everyone who came had no idea who I was because I was always wearing glasses. So it was pretty hilarious. But
funny.
hated the contacts enough to immediately go back to Florida and get LASIK.
Cool. Well, I'm going to watch CLX. UAA is showing a lot of weakness here. Savas, I think, is going to break out. It's trading above yesterday's high. Billy is interesting. CRSR. And Wilhelm, WHLM, is already selling off here. So yeah, so that's where I'm sitting right now.
Yeah, my volume scanner is amazingly empty today, so that is not a good sign. Baba and BP seem to have a little decent volume, although I don't know about BP. I always have so much trouble trading that one, but Baba can have some pretty sweet moves. So
yeah, BP, another NYSE stock.
yeah,
Lots of funds in that. So CLX is kind of warming up here too, but it's down quite a bit. I'll be back in a second.
You got it. Just for like a couple little sleeper stocks that I'm looking at. One is Space, SPCE. Haven't played that for a while. Short interest, still very high. Yesterday, it had kind of it's in a range still, but it had a kind of an engulfing candle on some higher volume yesterday. And it looked like some decent buy-ins occurred. So not sure if maybe we get a little pop boost out of Space. Also bounced off of VWAP on the weekly, so that could be something. Just if we're looking for sleepers. But right now I'm looking at tech mostly today. Microsoft, Apple, AMD, those kind of stocks because they're all just really extended from VWAP on the daily and weekly. Microsoft's trading at 285. Its VWAP's at 247. AMD is at, banged into 110 yesterday, which I shorted the junk out of it at 110 yesterday and had an absolutely beautiful move in the afternoon when it came back to VWAP. So
Nice.
Looking to see if AMD is going to start coming back on the daily a little bit because it's been so parabolic lately. Maybe we get some plays in tech. I don't know. Volume's super light, so. Got about a minute to go until this thing opens. I think my main plan for today is patience. I think I'm just going to kind of wait and see what wakes up and what starts setting some ranges, and get some nice trades in today. But I don't want to blow up my bank too early trying to trade low volume chops. So let's see how this goes. Baba looking interesting, bouncing right off of S6 and S5 and coming into a daily level at 196.
UA look UAA looks weak.
I think they had earnings today. I think.
Yes, yeah, they did. Yeah, pretty good earnings actually. So I'm going to see if this thing pops a little at the open. I might take it short. CLX is now above the VWAP. Yeah, here we go.
Good luck, y'all.
Not a whole lot of action
Well, you often
yet.
have big drops after blowout earnings, Gary, so don't be surprised. That they don't say buy the rumor, sell the news for nothing. It's quite often when the good earnings news comes in, people have already been warehousing for weeks in anticipation of it. So when it happens, they actually start profit taking because other people are willing to buy, and that drops the price. AMD launch.
Whew. Dang. MU is dang. MU just tanked. I don't want to chase that, unfortunately. Sava's dropping hard too. Just shorted some CRSR at 27. Come on, give it up. So we're right at sort of one area of the pre-market where we had some support. There goes Billy. Short some Billy as well. So I'm short a little Billy and a little bit of CRSR.
AMD almost back to 110. What a run.
Yeah, UAA's going, looks like a little bit of a short as well. Okay, I'm just going to cover some Billy here. 23.33. Nice drop on CRISPR. Yes. Or CRSR, whatever you want to call yourself. Diddly doodly. Come on, drop some more, baby. Drop it like it's hot.
I'm a short AMD 109.75 partial VWAP.
Covering some more CRSR at 26.40. Just covering some more Billy here at 82.50 filled. Ooh. Wilhelm is going, WHLM.
Covering more AMD here on the downside, below 109. Oh, it missed me. It skipped me.
Wow, look at MU. Gosh, nice. I couldn't chase that. Didn't expect that drop. Just covering some more Billy here. I'm just about out of it. CRSR just went down pretty much to the pre-market low. That's where it bounced off of. So I'm all out of Billy. It's back at my break even. They ended up last little bit lost some on that one. Overall, that was a decent trade though. SPY's dropping a bit. All right, CRSR is coming.
Mike still on AMD. Thank you.
Coming back to my
It was
break
nice enough
even.
to come back down to me. All right.
All right, I'm out of
There we go.
CRSR as well. Yeah, that was nice. Nice little drop on CRSR. Nice little drop on Billy. Oh, UAA kind of lost it too. I was watching that one. It just, it took a few minutes for people to decide they were going to sell it.
I'm out the rest of my AMD position here for now. Really nice up almost up 3R already on the day, so I'll take that. Take a little pressure off.
Yeah, so that was a nice little couple of trades there right at the get-go, as they say. CRSR might continue to be a short here. I'm wondering if I should get back into it. Already had a pretty good day. You know what? I kind of missed CRSR when it came back up and tagged. It tagged the VWAP there. That would have been the obvious place to get into it again. Dang. Kind of missed that opportunity.
All right, I'm going to stick out of AMD for a minute. The level 2 looks fairly balanced for me right now. It might actually be choppy, so I'm going to look for other stuff.
Yeah, Neo had a pop and drop. Yeah, I just really choppy. Huh. Oh, and the video went over 200. What do you know? Just poked its head above there. 201. Now it's pulling back. Tesla dropping. A lot of stuff going red here on the day.
SPY's down to a couple days ago. What is this level? Looks like what is that? A few sessions ago, high. Hey, at least you got something out of it there, Mark. That's still a good drop. It could hold under VWAP here, maybe.
Diska. Goodbye, Mr. Diska. BP's dropping. Tesla continuing to drop here. Wow, yeah, DISCA really dropped. And what's going on there? That was a big drop. UAA might be coming back here. It's pulled back a few times. It's bounced a few times here. See if it holds on this pullback. A little bit early to be doing reversal trades. Yeah, I'm not. I'm just looking here for opportunities now. 2 good trades already. It'll take a bit of.
Trying a
I've got
little.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I've just gone long a little UAA just because it looks like it's bouncing here. So.
You and me both. Then.
Oh, really? Call. Okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm long 21.55.
Okay, you got a little bit of a better entry. I got 21.61. I think I'll take some off here at the 9 moving average, right at 21.80.
Don't take too much off. You'll stuff my trade.
No. Yeah, it's hard. It's 3.7 million shares so far. I doubt a couple hundred's gonna hurt.
Whatever.
Oh, snow.
I saw those couple grand come across. Don't mess with me.
Yeah. What are we looking for here? VWAP 20 is 21.90. I might just get called away on my Nvidia holding at the end of this week here, unless I do something with the calls I've written against my position.
Gotta imagine, like, back in the day, it was like an actual phone call. Like, your phone would ring and the guy would be like,
Totally.
"Hey, margin call." Time to pay your bill.
Yes, I do still have some Sophie. Actually, I looked at that today. Still hanging around where I bought it.
I'm probably gonna regret it, but I cut my UAA at break even when it came back down through 21.60. I just don't like the volume and the way it's pushing right now. So it looks too high risk to hold. So I'm cutting it.
Yeah, it like I said, it took a bounce right to that 9 moving average. That's why I did take some off there.
Yeah, that was good.
Just because I knew it might have some challenge here. So we'll see if we can get through this 9 now.
Yeah, if I'd put a little wider stop on it, I probably would have been okay with holding it through this little consolidation, because I actually am. I agree 100% with your call, which is why I went long too. I think it looks good. I just my stop was a little too tight to hold through this, but we'll see. I mean, it can always give me another setup in a little bit. If it gets above R4, for instance, maybe I'll play the breakout.
Yeah. I just about pulled it there when it dropped below 21.60, but I thought I'd just leave it a little.
There are lots of large buys coming in on the tape, so it's reading like it's getting bought in. So that's why I think it's a long. I just couldn't hold it.
See if it can get through this 9 moving average now. That's that'll be the key. It's a 9 moving average is kind of curling up on it. The MU did a V reversal. Still sticking with this. We'll see. It looks like it might try to get through the 9. If we can't get through the 9, we'll 2188 is roughly the VWAP. So this 9 moving average is also yesterday's high. So it's probably an area where we're going to get have some challenges as well. Yeah, I'm out of it too. SPY is selling off here. IWM's really selling off. The Qs are still green, and the SPY just went red. So the only index that's green right now is Qs.
Watching that SPY do its thing, that's good.
Ooh,
I dropped another short on AMD, like 110.15. Holding this one tight. If it squeezes back up, I'm going to get right out. Holding these positions really tight now because I'm over goal, so I'm not looking to really give anything back.
UAA looks like it wants to go red on the day. Whoa. Oh, okay. Yeah, there goes Wilhelm. Wilhelm just popped. Hasn't been that cleanly traded. It kind of, I was looking at it, it popped up, and then the volume really started to drop off on it. So I thought, not worth trading. And now it just, I guess it's gone into a halt by the looks of it.
Out Apple at break even. Got a good partial on a VWAP though.
Okay, we're going to get a bit of a bounce here on SPY maybe.
SPY's at previous day's close right now.
Yeah.
Getting and kind of pushing under it.
Just in the red.
Let's flip over and take a look at the SPY. $435 kind of rings as an obvious liquidity area. That's still a buck and change, like a buck and a half away though.
I knew it. UAA is going to go red. Dang, should have shorted it off that 9 moving average. Should have flipped my position.
I feel really good about cutting that trade now, though.
Well, you get into a mindset, you think it's going to go higher, and then it's just hard to flip it in your mind,
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I've been trying to do better is actually something that the boss is so good at, Andrew, which is his ability to say, you know what, it's not that this isn't going to work or it's not going to work. It's just not working now. So why not just get out of it, go find something that is working, right? Use my money somewhere where I'm going to actually make money with it. So,
yeah.
And that's been saving me a lot, especially in the choppier markets.
Look at MU go. Wow. Just popping back up there. SPY is well into the red now.
Just for a little side action, Hood, HOOD, our recent IPO of Robinhood actually has broken out from its opening day, its open price that it opened with a few days ago at 38, and has seen some nice volume, and this seems to be climbing off of that.
Yeah, it's popping up on the scanner with Microsoft and MU. Even Pins is making a move here. All right. Wow, MU just came ripping back.
Going good, Dan. Thanks. How about you, brother?
UAA may
Short
be
some
finding another
Microsoft
bottom
here at
here.
the daily levels. Oh, nice.
Didn't quite got within pennies of that yesterday's close on UAA.
Covering some Microsoft, 286.13. Some more, 286 even. Wow, what a nice drop. That's a good start to that reversal. SPY also lost a daily level at the same time. That is ironic.
Yeah. Just let's see. It looks like our hood's going to go through 40 here, so I'm long. Just got long 39.77. Here we go. Lots of liquidity up here around 40. Yep, I just got into hood. I'm in the hood. Now it's pulling back. I still think it's probably going to go here. Although it is pretty extended, unfortunately. Maybe it's become a meme stock, hopefully.
I'm sitting in Microsoft short right now, just seeing what we get here. We're at pre-market high at 286. I want to see if we support and rally back to the daily level. If we do, I'll bail. If we lose pre-market high here, I might have nailed this one.
I'm just selling some here, 39.93, 39.90 filled.
Oh, you got hood.
Yeah.
Nice. In the hood?
I'm in the hood. I'm in the hood, baby. Come on. Lots of liquidity
Partial
up around
Microsoft at
40.
VWAP.
Lots of
That's what I'm
liquidity.
talking
Here we
about.
come. Here we come. Come on. It's taking a little more off here. 95. I'm just thinking about whether I want to hold on to this. Take the rest off. I can tell you, I don't like the way it couldn't get through 40 on that second push.
Yeah, we got
Taking the rest
R4 right
off.
here on hood.
Yeah,
There's a really big seller at 40.
Yeah, I know. There's lots of liquidity up at 40, but it just couldn't get there.
Everyone probably started profit taking in front of the big seller.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. That was including me.
Exactly.
MU is
Everyone was thinking, everyone's watching the show.
yeah, probably.
they're like, wait, it's the profit of profit parceling in front of 40. I guess I'm going to parcel in front of 40.
I think it still looks like it might go. I just didn't feel like I had after that second failure, kind of.
As it dropped from 40, everyone went, I knew it.
I knew it's not going to make it. CRSR just continues to leak now. SPY is continuing to leak. Speaking of leaking, and now every index has gone red on the day here. The Dow, the Qs, and IWM and the SPY all in the red. And we've really reddened up on the day here.
Microsoft back to the opening price. Let's see if we can lose this. Oh, yeah. There we go. Covering a little more Microsoft here, 285.20. Gracious. $1.50 move already on Microsoft.
Okay, flat right now.
No.
Shoot.
I was right
Just
on AMD too. I just I couldn't hold on to that position. It squeezed me out.
AMD will do that to you.
God, I nailed it. Right off of R3. Daily level plus R3 on AMD. Gold. It was just gold. Nice, Mark. Killing it, brother.
Mac? Are you talking Mac? Are you talking AMC, Jared? I kind of figured you were talking about AMC.
Stop on Mac. I mean Mac.
Mac.
I mean Mac. Dang it. AMC.
Mac. Mac is in the. It must be. I thought he was talking about his makeup. Mac Daddy, the Pin Mac Daddy.
Franco short Apple.
Look at
nice.
it. Look at AMC. Look at AMC tear here. Jared caught that bottom. Nice. Just a base, eh, baby? Just a base. I don't know. I hear their eyelash stuff's pretty good too. Yeah, look at UAA finally found that bottom there, eh?
Making some progress, y'all, on Microsoft here.
Wow, CRSR really ripped off that bottom too. Jesus, what's going on?
CPT. So, how long have you been trading now with us? A few months, right? Yeah. So I think when you started trading right around the time the SPY was, or the market in general, if you will, was kind of has been in this like range between like, let's just call it like 420 and 440. And although it doesn't look that bad, it's been, oh yeah, it just seems really slow. It seems like we've got more volatility in a lot of these stocks, maybe the past couple of weeks at most. But yeah, it does seem like we're getting a little bit better ranges out of these stocks recently. which has been nice. It's been very nice. We've actually been able to get some trending trades that we've been able to move. I've really been enjoying that.
Mm-hmm.
Next target on Microsoft is going to be pre-market low and previous day's close. And then after that, I'm just going to be holding a trail for whatever I can get. ON for a continuation? On.
Wow, Hood really pulled back here. Glad I didn't stick with that. Just couldn't punch its way through 40. It did bounce off the VWAP, which was a trade I missed there. All right. Jesus, we're only half an hour into the trading day. Feels like it's.
I know how that
Feels like I've been trading forever.
There it goes. All right, partial on Microsoft, 284.75. And we got pre-market low, previous day's close right there. All right, and we're in. Next stop, S3. That'll be the next previous daily level down below 284. What a grab. That's exciting.
Yeah, IWM looks like it's trying to put in a bottom here. Same with maybe with the Qs. The SPY is bouncing here. So maybe we get a bit of a bounce on this at this level. Half hour into the trading day.
SPY is trying to build a little supply to the top side.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. We got this like drop off looking area, like 236.
Yeah, I can see CLX trying to creep up here. Neo, what's Neo doing? Well, Neo's at the 9 moving average, it's just above it now. It's coming up on the 20 on a 2-minute chart. Hood. Yeah, I wish I'd been watching Hood when it hit that when it got down to the VWAP there. That would have been the entry to take on that. You just can't chase. You just can't chase things like that. WHLM is just not trading very cleanly right now. I'm just watching the IWM here to see if we're coming back down to where we bounced before. So I'm just thinking about a TNA trade here. Yeah, I'll try taking TNA here, 83.14.
because I think yesterday we trended down yesterday in the market after the consolidation broke.
Yeah.
So I mean, we might be starting to distribute. I mean, just generically across the S&P. I mean, I know a lot of these tech stocks, especially, just look so incredibly overvalued right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see a rotation occur or something, which will force the S&P to probably go down a little bit, which would be really nice. I think we'd all kind of just like to see a little breathing room on this thing.
Yeah.
But we do have S3 here on SPY as well as a high value area. Mid fourth, 436, 437. So if we can hold up here and push, I mean, we could at least go into a little cover rally for a little bit.
I just sold some TNA at 83.49. We'll see if we can get a continuation move.
All right, SPY lost S3, immediately rejected the moving average. What was that? The 9 on the 1 minute, or the 20 maybe? Yeah, 20. So what's that on your 2? That's your 9 on your 2, I think. Yeah, it went right back to your 9 average on the 2 minute. Plus, you had a 100 cross there as well. It lost that. So it'll be interesting to see what Microsoft does here. And SPY, which are actually trading kind of similarly now.
The Qs might be putting in a higher low here. Getting ready to bail on the rest of this TNA trade. Indexes look like they're trying to hold here. The SPY's trying to hold above the 20 or the 9 moving average on 2-minute chart. Yeah, I'm going to get out of the rest of TNA. I think we're heading lower here. The Qs are going to drop again. A little bit early for the buying brigade to come in. MU's right back down to low of day here.
Nice, Raf.
Well, there's SEDG is showing up on the scanner as red, so I guess that means it wasn't a great day for the. Was it a good day for the solar stocks? Actually, First Solar did really well. They had a nice run at from the open. It was a good call on that. Yeah, I know. I got out of U. Didn't like the way it opened. Got out most of it, around 60. I wish I'd have didn't have access to my trading my account in the afternoon, so I couldn't get out. I would have sort of taken half off yesterday after that run. SoFi is really coming back down to where I was gonna stop out if I get if it drops below this 15 level. It was good.
Nice, Hammer.
Just nice to
Hammer's
be out in
having
the
a good
water.
day.
Good. UAA looks like it's thinking about trying to go higher here.
Yeah, it's sitting on top of R4 finally.
Yeah, and it's sitting. It's at a moving average. It's at the 50 is where it seems to be stalling out here.
A lot of selling
The
on the
SPY.
tape though, which I don't like.
Yeah, well, and the SPY is rolling over here. The Qs are still dropping. IWM still dropping. Tesla went red on the day. Almost everything I'm looking at is red, except the gold miners, GDX, GDXJ, PAS. MU is still green, and Apple has just gone red. The buying brigade's going to come in here at some point. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, true story.
Yeah.
Still no large volume on the SPY, signaling like a true like bottom here. We're just kind of attempting to not fall more, but haven't really seen that big order step up yet and offer the support I think SPY is looking for right now, but we'll see what happens. Ladder's looking a little bullish though.
UA just did a sneaky 920 trade there. You're really the 9 and the 20 are so close because of the way it's been trading. It just came back and there wasn't much of a gap between the 9 and the 20. So it just came back, snuck through the 9, touched the 20, and then bounced right off it. Yeah, I just take a little bit of a short on UA just because it seems to be having trouble here at this 2210 level. So I'm short 2207. We'll see what it does here. If it does break out, I'll jump out of it. Not risking a whole lot.
How's everybody doing over there in YouTube land? I was just popping over to see everyone. I think JR might be right on this one. I think it'd be really nice if this was the start of a big correction. I think we've all been kind of waiting for it, but every time I think it's going to happen, it doesn't. So So we'll see how it goes. But good seeing everybody out there in YouTube land.
Yeah.
Appreciate you all, even though we don't talk to you too much because we get hyper focused over here in the room. But hope you're all doing well and everything.
Just covered some UAA and kind of more of a scalp here. 2194.
I'm just still holding this Microsoft position. I'm not going to take any more trades. I'll probably just call it here in a little bit. I'm having a spectacular day, so I don't feel like I need to ruin that by testing my wits against the market anymore today.
Yeah, when you're up and you've had a good day, just no need to keep trading. Sometimes, quite often, you just give it all back.
Yeah, I've had those days too. That's actually kind of why I kind of put that mentality in place, because I would have so many days, and those were actually my worst days. I would be up over goal, I'd be feeling great, and then one bad trade would turn into two, would turn into four, and all of a sudden, before I'd know it, I was at max loss for the day, and just going, how did that happen? Congrats, all.
Yeah, good one. Everyone had a good day. A lot of people had a good day. I'm getting out of the rest of my UAA trade. That was kind of a flat trade. So I ended up losing $5 on it. We're getting a bit of a bounce on the SPY and another bit of a bounce here on the other indexes, the Qs and the IWM. What's this short? Is there a short interest on UAA? Yeah, it's not that much, 7.65%. I see Lucid is breaking down here, LCID. The hood's back on the scanner here. It's back up near
Hood's
40.
back to test 40. Yeah. It's going after the big seller at 40, and there is a big seller at 40.
Okay.
Over 250,000 shares sitting on
Yeah, look at
NSDT.
that. Yeah, 280,000. I saw it on TI, Trade Ideas. Sometimes Trade Ideas and FinViz are like, right on exactly the same number. Look at that. Now it's going to go through 40. I knew it would eventually go through 40. See, I knew it. Just had to do that little dance. A couple bounces off the View app.
And they had to shake it out and accumulate some shares before they could rock this thing up.
Yeah. Shake and bake.
And I helped.
Yeah.
It's shake and bake, and I helped. Man, I used to love shake and bake when I was a kid. That just made me hungry.
It
was so fun because you put it in the bag and you
shake it around. Yeah. I think they still have that too.
They probably do. We just do it the boring way,
Yeah.
We just do the bucket with the flour and the egg wash and we do it all pro now. When I was a kid, we just did it trailer park style. Threw it in the bag, shook it around, made it happen. I can say that, by the way, I'm country.
Shake and bake, baby. Wow, UAA still it's That's quite the sell-off. I'm surprised. I was surprised it sold off, and then it just decided it could come back up. SPY is making a bounce here. Qs are in the TNA are trying, or the IWM, I should say. So the buying brigade maybe showing up. NEO looks like it's going to try to bounce here. It's made a higher low. It's trading right at the 9 moving average. You could take a trade, use 944.30 as a stop. So I'm going to take a trade here on NEO, 44.50. See if we can get a bounce through the 20 moving average next stop.
I'm waiting for Microsoft to come back up to the opening price, and I want to see what happens when it gets there. If it holds under it and the SPY rolls back over, I might add into my short on it. But right now, she's starting to rally a bit. If she gets too much higher, I'll probably just cut the position and call it a day.
Just I'm going to just sell some here, 44.59 on NEO.
Hood.
If it loses for 44.50, I'll be.
Hood's almost at $41.
Wow.
Hood just
If NEO
exploded
loses
through those large orders.
44.50, I'll be out of it.
Yeah,
So
it's at
probably gonna.
$41.
Wow, yeah, that was a big pop. Hey, as soon as it got through 40,
Yeah,
it
it
ate through that.
exploded through those 250,000 orders.
Yeah, as soon as it ate through that.
Just pow. They had to warehouse up. You got that consolidation period. They just market maker need to get enough shares to handle that order. And then pow, right through it. My goodness, that was fun. Just obliterated the entire order book to the top side when it went through. All right, 42 starting to stack up now. That'll be the next one. Man, that's fun.
Just hanging on to NEO by a thread here. The rest of it. The 20s is the area of resistance right now on the 2-minute chart. It's trading between that. There we go. I'm out of the rest of it. 44, 47. So again, bit of a scalp trade. Didn't unfortunately work out. Was hoping we'd get back to the VWAP if we could get through the 20, but it just couldn't do it. This is going to be, I think Hood's going to be one of these. Look at it, it's trying to get to 42 now. Just got long some. See if we can get to 42. Sold some here at 80. What have we got here for liquidity up? 42.73. There's a big order, but that's like almost like a no intention to fill. Come on, Hood. Here we go, baby. Whew. Bit of a drop. I'm out of this. It's just too crazy. SPY is pushing back up. We finally got the buying brigade coming in. Yeah, I always look at that, and I always think their buying brigade's going to come in. And you gotta give them a little bit more time. Usually 10-15 is a better time for the buying brigade. Yeah, Sava's starting to pick up a bit here. Yeah, Mu's are picking up. WHLM is starting to warm up again here. Although this hasn't really traded that well. Still think Hood's going to go through 42 here, don't you think? Neo. Someone's asking if I think Neo's a R4 breakout.
Neo? Is Neo an R4 breakout? I'm going to go with no.
No, it's down around...
Did you hit the wrong ticker? You mean S4?
Yeah, it looks like...
yeah, S4. Maybe there's a large bid at 44 that needs to be dealt with first. So you would want to actually watch the price go through 44 to the underneath side and then back test 44 and then trade S4 to the downside. So you got a little bit of time for this thing to set up before it would fall into that category for me. But I do like how it's losing a daily level. I do like how the bid is heavier to the downside. Lots of selling on the tape. So not saying it won't become one, but it is not currently just yet one.
Sava's had a really nice comeback here. MU's been bouncing back here. God, MDU has been just all over the place. Wow, nice pop on Sava. Sava just ripped through that yesterday high.
Nice. That looks great, Lee. Good job on Neo. I really enjoy the ads. Yeah, he had these little like high rising candles that back tested levels, but they showed weakness, light volume, ad, boom. That's really cool, man. Good job, Lee.
Yeah, this has been quite a trading morning. Holy cow!
You know, it just really shows, even on a boring morning like these days, you just got to sit back because you don't really know what's going to wake up or what opportunities are going to be
Yeah.
available. I really feel like the room in general, obviously I know not everyone's making money today, but I'm saying the room in general seems like they're doing fairly well this morning. I'm seeing lots of good charts and trade posts.
Perry, I don't know. I don't know. Here goes Wilhelm.
Oh, nice.
Right back
Nice,
up near
Wally. You
high of
got that
day.
Owen trade. Good job, buddy.
Volume's picking up on it. It's right at the high of day, so just be careful because this thing seems to be challenged.
Well, good sir.
Here we
I
go.
think I'm going to
Yeah.
call it a day. It's 10:30.
Okay.
I added into my Microsoft short when it pulled back to 285.75. So now I'm just going to sit back and
Nice.
see if the SPY rolls over and helps me take this thing back down. But I'm going to set a couple ranges on that and let the computer work. I'm going to jump in a car
Nice.
here in a little bit and head over to a water park.
Good idea. I love that idea.
We're gonna go get our Discovery Cove on. So
Yeah.
anybody in the area, come by. No, I'm kidding.
Love the water thing.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be so much fun. Right. So anyway, thank you everybody out there in YouTube Landia. Thanks for hanging out with us as always. We appreciate you guys. If you have a moment and you haven't done so already, shameless plug, toss me a like. I'd really appreciate that.
Yeah,
Otherwise, what else? And then to everybody in the chat, love you all. I'm going to be in Orlando for the rest of the week, but I still will be doing most of my stuff. Might miss a 1 p.m. or 2. But I'll still be on in the mornings, and we'll still do our Thursday mentoring and that kind of stuff. So and please, for the love of Pete, Stonks and Lambos, don't do that. That could kill people. So I hope everyone has a great day and keep it green, y'all.
Stocks and Lambos. Stocks and Lambos. I like that.
That's a good handle, though.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you
Yeah,
later.
that would be good. That would
always
be
fun
good
trading
handle.
with you.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for jumping on today. I appreciate trading with you as well. Always fun. We always seem to make a few bucks. There we go. Here we go.
That's how we do.
On Wilhelm. Wilhelm is going through 8 here. All right. We have thank you, Thor. So yeah, if you want to join us, if you want to be in the room, have access to all the great mentoring, and Wilhelm's going to get halted here. All the great mentoring that's available, and all the videos that we have, the training videos. Just give us a try. 1 week, $24. And we hope you had a profitable day. Just remember that when you are watching on YouTube, the feed is delayed, so you're seeing and hearing us maybe 10 or 15 seconds. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but later than what you would hear in the room. So, all right, have a good one, everyone. Have a good day, and we'll possibly see you tomorrow. Bye for now.